Right now, the Dane County Board is set to begin reviewing plans for the new jail, but any proposal they choose won't come cheap. And the Children's Hospital teaming up with Madison's newest sports team, while you'll be seeing even more pink at Stevens Field coming up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us. Charlotte is off tonight. The Dane County Jail is back up for debate this week. There are now 4 options the County Board of Supervisors must consider to replace the decades-old facilities that are in use now. Our Amy Reed walks us through the options, including the current frontrunner.
I started my career 40 years ago working in that jail, and not a lot has changed.
Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney has wanted the jail upgrade since before he got in office. He calls the 1950s era facility inhumane for what it does to the people who have to stay there.
If you come into jail, as a gentleman did, sentenced to 6 months in jail, confined to a wheelchair, the only place that he could be housed was in solitary confinement.
After 27 years of debate and $4 million sunk into 14 studies, Mahoney hopes that will actually change this time. Tomorrow, the Dane County Board of Supervisors will look at the 4 options for new facilities, all with a whopping price tag from $148 to $220 million, at least twice the budgeted $76 million.
When you looked at the actual project costs, the South Tower is the least expensive.
Sharon Corrigan is the chair of the board, and she studied these options ahead of tomorrow's presentation. The cheapest one that she referred to would be built here behind the Public Safety Building. In addition to being the least expensive, it also accomplishes other goals like 10% fewer beds, space to treat mental illness, and consolidate the 3 facilities now into 1. But she's not immune to the cost of both building and doing nothing.
It's expensive. I wish it were less expensive, but we have a responsibility to take care of people.
What role the jail should play and what type of investments we want to make into potentially a new jail.
Tonight, board member Heidi Weigleitner held a community meeting to talk about the options. Many people there said they did not want a jail and the money should go to education, if not other jail diversion programs. But Sheriff Mahoney, who sat in on that meeting, said not choosing one of the current options is dangerous and puts the lives of the people housed there currently at risk.
Really, there's only 2 choices. Either accept the fact that we continue to have a bad, dangerous jail, or we embrace one of these projects.
The board chair said tomorrow's meeting will not have public comment on this, but there's still time to have your voice heard. This will go to multiple committees multiple times. The soonest we would likely see a formal plan would be June, but construction isn't expected to finish until 2023 at the earliest, and that's if we don't see hiccups during the discussion phase.
Amy, thank you. Republicans plan to vote to kill some of Governor Tony Evers' signature proposals next week. In a memo today, Republican co-chairs said they will remove more than 70 policy items from the budget in their first budget writing committee vote May 9th. That includes the governor's plan to expand Medicaid, legalize medical marijuana, and cap enrollment in private voucher schools. After several hours of testimony before the U.S. Senate today, Attorney General William Barr says he will no longer appear before the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow. The Justice Department cited a dispute over who would do the questioning. Democratic chair in the House, Jerry Nadler of New York, says he's now considering holding Barr in contempt of Congress if he does not comply with their requests. The House Judiciary Committee also wants special counsel Robert Mueller to testify on May 15th. A controversial church that just moved downtown is now suing the city of Madison. The Rastafarian church says the city and police have violated their First Amendment rights. The Lion of Judah House of Rastafari found a legal loophole to bring marijuana to Madison. The city sent them a cease and desist letter last month. Now the church's leaders say the city has no authority over them and describe the city's actions as threatening and harassing. In northeastern Wisconsin, police have a person in custody suspected of attempted arson after discovering damage to a church in Alloway overnight. The suspect, an 18-year-old, authorities say he threw a wine bottle through a window about 10:30 last night and then a few hours later smashed his way into the chapel and lit some paperwork and a Bible on fire. The man was arrested early this morning after damaging another home. Police say it does not appear to be a hate crime. A woman's body found in a smoldering garage on Milwaukee's north side this morning. Investigators are now trying to figure out who she was and how she got there. Right now, police are not saying if any foul play is suspected. They're just calling it a death investigation. An autopsy is planned for tomorrow. Looking at our forecast now, the gloomy weather will stick around a bit longer. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, the big question is how much rain are we going to get out of these clouds today? There wasn't very much at all after some showers last night. But as we take a look at satellite and radar, there are some showers of rain and snow to our north and west across parts of northeastern Minnesota down into southwestern portion of Minnesota and northwestern Iowa. To our south and east, there's also some showers and a few thunderstorms moving through Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. But we're kind of in between right now. Visibilities are starting to drop a little bit as fog forms again. We're not expecting anything too widespread or dense, but just about everybody will see at least some light fog. Visibility right now down to a half mile in Milwaukee, but elsewhere visibility is generally between about 5 and 10 miles. Low temperatures this morning started out in the upper 30s to lower 40s thanks to the clouds and fog, but high temperatures because of the clouds only made it in the 40s in the northern portion of our viewing area, 50s from Madison southward, but only by a few degrees. And right now temperatures range from around 40 in the Fox Valley to the mid 40s here in Madison, and then to around 50 over southwestern Wisconsin. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be back down into the lower 40s. Look for a round of showers, perhaps an isolated thunderstorm tomorrow morning. Otherwise, expect cloudy skies through much of the day tomorrow with a high temperature of 56. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Police in Cross Plains were in for a surprise when a citizen turned in more than $25,000 in counterfeit bills. The department says the person found the bills and decided to turn them in. Officers say these particular bills, which were all $100 bills, all had the same serial number. They had a small Chinese symbol on them, and the texture wasn't right. All signs that they were fake.
I don't know what they were used for or how they were made, but definitely look for the texture, the coloring, any weird markings.
Officer Kretz says money was turned over to the Secret Service for analysis. Two high-ranking members of the Milton School District say they will resign at the end of the school year. Board members say Superintendent Tim Scheiger and Director of Administrative Operations Jerry Schutz made the decision themselves. They were not removed from their positions. The resignations come after a third-party investigator was hired to look into $30,000 in stipends paid to district employees without the approval of the school board. Two of those stipends were given to Scheiger and Schutz. Ultimately, the investigation found no intentional wrongdoing. The immigrant community pushing for driver's licenses for all in Wisconsin, rallying at the state capitol this afternoon for the Day Without Latinx. Up until 2007, anyone in Wisconsin could obtain a license regardless of their immigration status. Governor Tony Evers has the driver's license provision now in his 2-year spending plan, but tonight Republican leaders of the Joint Finance Committee say they do plan to remove the driver's license proposal from the state budget. A video posted to Facebook shows a Rock County restaurant, a fast food restaurant, riddled with bugs. This video was taken at the Taco John's in Newville on Monday. It shows the store's kitchen with ants on the floor there. The Rock County Health Department says they were made aware of this issue, but they say the restaurant had it fixed by the next day. A new trampoline park coming to Madison's west side, moving into the old Toys R Us building near Westtown Mall. That business officially closed last fall when Toys R Us went out of business. Urban Air Trampoline and Adventure Park, based out of Dallas, Texas, says we plan to move in sometime next year. Forward Madison FC and Don's Home Furniture are partnering on a very special project. If you stop by one of their upcoming soccer games, you will notice a pink section of the field that'll be hard to miss. Jamie Perez joins us now with this story out of Breese Stevens Field. Jamie?
Well, so Don's Home Furniture made these customized flamingo pink chairs that are now set up in the front row for Forward Madison games. They're specifically made for patients and families at the American Family Children's Hospital. The chairs themselves are aesthetically beautiful, but the story behind how they came to be is much more than what meets the eye. The next time you go to Breese Stevens Field, there's a section of pink you simply cannot miss. Flamingo Beach holds 16 of these bright pink chairs, each one intricately detailed and customized for Forward Madison FC. The best seats in the house. To go to those at the American Family Children's Hospital.
We specially designed the chairs to be a little taller. We specially designed them with a little different back to them and a little wider arm and a little wider footrest to them, so that it would be easy for them to get in and out if they had some, complications from, surgeries.
The chairs made their debut at last Saturday's game.
We did, yeah. We had a sold-out crowd last Saturday for opening night, 3 inches of snow. It's the way we'd want it here in Wisconsin.
Chairs filled with smiling faces from patients who just needed a break from the daily struggles they face in the hospital. Everyone who sits in these chairs gets a Madison Forward t-shirt, food, drinks, and gets to meet the team before each game.
This is a community endeavor for us.
A community endeavor that required a community effort to build.
It was the Amish that actually built them.
Every detail built with purpose. These chairs are made with love, care, and
They're recycled milk jugs.
just one of these chairs is made out of about 950 recycled milk jugs. Multiply that times 16, that's more than 15,000. And to make it even better,
The other great part about it is they're a weather-resistant chair.
what went into these chairs was care and understanding. Not just for the kids who will get a chance to experience this front row action, but even for the ones who don't.
Part of this, for me, is by far just knowing that I apologize for, tearing up a little bit, but one of my relatives is going through a little bit of this at the moment. He's, 14 years old, 15 years old, and he's been in and out of the hospital for 6 months, and getting a chance to enjoy life for a while is something that a lot of the kids and the families just don't have.
A chance to escape, even if it's just for a little while.
Something small like this can make a difference, even just for a few hours, then it's worth it. That's the best part about it.
No one from the American Family Children's Hospital was available today to speak on camera about what these chairs mean to the kids there, but they did tell me that an email is sent out to all the families who are eligible to go to these games, and a lottery then decides who gets to sit in those chairs every time. So something to look out for next time you go to one of those games. Just find those pink chairs.
Yeah, they're beautiful, beautifully made,
Yes.
and a beautiful story behind them. Really, thank you for sharing that, Jamie. Jamie Perez reporting tonight. Still ahead tonight, your forecast. We're getting ready for a warm-up for some of those soccer games coming in the days ahead. But first, a new study says 3 out of every 4 people who move to Madison fall into one category. A closer look when we come back. Welcome back. 75% of those who moved to Madison in the past year were millennials, one of the highest rates in the nation. The National Association of Realtors put out this data, which also concludes that relative affordability and high-tech jobs are driving those numbers. However, the city says the number of millennials moving to town is causing a few growing pains.
There are challenges that come with growth, and it's, adding enough housing units, adding housing units in places where people want to be, where we have robust bus service, where we have grocery stores, where we have these things that we think people need to be successful. That's hard to do.
Among some of the other top cities for millennials, Omaha, Nebraska, Seattle, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Maine has become the first state in the nation to ban businesses from using styrofoam containers. The governor there signing the bill into law this week. It prohibits restaurants, caterers, coffee shops, and grocery stores from using the foam containers. The new law goes into effect January 1st of 2021. Special ceremony tonight capping off a busy day for nearly 2,000 middle and high school students. Skills USA, a national nonprofit, hosted its 46th annual state championships at Alliant Energy Center. Students from across Wisconsin competed in more than 80 different categories, ranging from manufacturing to carpentry to automotive and robotics. Skills USA is a partnership of children, teachers, and industry working together to ensure that Wisconsin and the entire country has a highly skilled workforce. And a special opportunity tonight for students at Verona Area High School, putting their mark on the new high school. Students and staff autographing this 14-foot steel beam. Now that will be one of the final beams installed in their massive new building project in Verona for the new high school there. Many of the students who signed the beam will be attending the new high school eventually. It is slated to be complete by the fall of 2020. Gary Canalti joining us now. We're seeing some warmer temperatures on the not too distant horizon for the weekend. Should be pretty good.
Couldn't get much cooler just because we've had clouds, we've had showers. We had that weather radio programming session tonight at Hy-Vee. And for those of you who missed it, we still have the weather radio promotion going for a limited time at Hy-Vee supermarkets and also at Mills Fleet Farm. You can purchase the NOAA weather radios from Midland. The tabletop models, a few of the handheld ones are also available. And again, for every radio that's sold, we'll make a donation to the Southwest Wisconsin region of the American Red Cross. We want to thank those for showing up tonight. Had quite a crowd there at Hy-Vee this evening. Tonight, no severe weather, so again, those weather radios can sit for a little while. You can always use them to get the latest forecasts and current conditions, but there are a few showers out toward the Twin Cities. Southern Wisconsin right now pretty quiet. Over the last 48 hours, there's been quite a bit of rain down in northern Illinois, 1 to 2 inches of rain with about a quarter inch to an inch in some spots toward the Illinois state line. The latest forecast is now calling for the heaviest rains to perhaps fall toward the Chicago area, and even those have come down quite a bit. Here in southern Wisconsin, it looks like we'll see some showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm tomorrow morning, but the precipitation should generally be pretty light and mainly confined to the morning hours. There still is a flash flood watch for much of northern Illinois and parts of eastern Iowa until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now, the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, starting to see a little fog around the lights of the Capitol. Temperature didn't move very much again today thanks to the clouds and the moisture in the air. 41, the low temperature, that's exactly normal, but the high of 51, 13 degrees below normal, and right now at 45. Just a little sprinkle being reported at the airport. The air is calm, the humidity up to 90%. High temperatures today, mainly 40s in the northern part of the state, barely into the 50s in southern Wisconsin. We should be looking at high temperatures this time of year in the lower to middle 60s. Right now, temperatures are in the 30s to around 40 in the northern, northeastern half of the state, still in the 40s across southern Wisconsin. Upper level winds are still out of the southwest, but a cold front has moved to the south. There's nothing really to push that cold front back to the north because the jet stream is moving farther to the south. So another cluster of severe thunderstorms developed tonight in parts of Oklahoma and Texas. That eventually will move northeast with some of the precipitation, but the bulk of that should probably stay just to the south of Wisconsin. At least the heavier precipitation will stay in northern Illinois, so that's good news for us. The stationary front is providing the focus for those showers and thunderstorms, and they'll pretty much ride right along it. The difference in temperatures right now, Springfield, Illinois at 63, Chicago only at 45 degrees, so about a 20 to 25 degree temperature contrast across the front. So you can see those showers and storms running parallel to it, but the best chances for heavier rain will stay to our south. Then we'll see some breaks in the clouds tomorrow night, maybe a few more clouds and a sprinkle of rain chance on Friday. Our forecast for the overnight hours calls for a low temperature of 41 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, some areas of fog, a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm toward morning, and then tomorrow rain chances in the morning, then it'll be cloudy and not as cool in the afternoon with a high of 56. On future track, cloudy skies overnight with areas of fog. You can see the shower and thunderstorm chances early tomorrow morning. Those move on out. Might even see a couple of breaks to the clouds late in the afternoon. If so, temperatures might be a couple degrees warmer than forecast forecast. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow night with lows dropping to around 40. Friday we'll see some afternoon clouds, maybe a sprinkle of rain. High temperatures up around 60. Rainfall amounts again probably heaviest over southeastern Wisconsin, where the better chances for thunderstorms will be. With a 7 to 10 day forecast, at least get some sunshine in here for the weekend with high temperatures in the upper 60s. We'll see temperatures cool back down for the middle of next week as shower and thunderstorm chances turn back. I was just looking at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, calling for below normal temperatures here through the middle of. I'm sorry, just the messenger, but someday we'll get spring. Maybe it'll be July.
Able to go out in public with this stretch of
Maybe
weather
not.
we've had. Gary, thank you. Straight ahead, Giannis giving a shout out to some Greek fans who came to Game 2 last night. Now, grab that Google Translator for sports next.
If the Brewers wanted to make it 3 in a row over the Rockies, they'd have to do it without Christian Yelich. Again, the MVP's on the shelf with a bad back. Brewers manager Craig Counsell said the plan is to bring him back by Friday. Bucks guard Pat Connaughton played college baseball and a little single A. It was a 4th-round pick. Well, a little work on the pitching there. Top of the 6th. You thought that was bad. Corbin Burns struggling this year. Gives up the RBI double to Charlie Blackmon. 7-4 visitors. Top of the 8th. Trevor Story, leaving off Jay Jackson. Nolan Arenado's homered twice. Right now, the Rockies lead 11-4 in the bottom of the 9th. Cubs-Mariners playing some day baseball in Seattle. Top of the 2nd would be a very big inning for the Cubs. Javier Baez, they call him El Mago, the magician, makes one disappear into the seats for his 10th home run. It's 1-0. In the same inning, Baez up again, and for his next trick, he will hit an RBI double. Cubs win 11-0. John Lester, 7 innings of one-hit baseball for the Cubs. The Bucks even their series with the Celtics behind 29 points and 10 rebounds from Giannis. Last night was special for another reason. The Greek Freak had some hometown fans in the house. He and his agent brought over a group of environmentalists from Greece after they won a recycling competition. Now, a reporter asked him about it in Greek. Giannis answered in Greek, saying he was happy to get a win for his guests and he loves the support from his countrymen and women. But it looks like Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe need to brush up on their Greek.
Εντάξει, είναι πάρα πολύ ωραίο το συναίσθημα να έρχεται ο κόσμος στο γήπεδο και να μας στηρίζει. Είναι τρομερό να έρχομαι στα παιχνίδια και να ακούω Έλληνες να φωνάζουν και να σηκώνουν την ελληνική σημαία.
Chris, can you translate?
I had a pretty good translation, but I stopped paying attention halfway through.
Middleton did not minor in Greek at Texas A&M. Rocket star James Harden says he can barely see after getting scraped across the face last night against the Warriors. It happened in the first quarter. Giannis' only competition in the MVP race, finished with 29 points, but he was wincing the entire game. The Warriors lead the series 2-0 as the series heads back to Houston for Game 3 Saturday night. Before last week's draft, Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst said defensive tackle Kenny Clark is a dominant player. And if he keeps trending the way he's trending, there will be no discussion. Green Bay picked up his 5th-year option, according to NFL insider Field Yates. Clark had a breakout season in 2018, career highs in sacks and solo tackles. The 23-year-old was the Packers' first-round pick in 2016, so the option keeps him in Green Bay through 2020. College baseball, Brandeis University visiting Case Western Reserve. Starting in right field, some white-tailed deer. Yep. And like players are not going to get those off the field. They go all the way across. See, there's no way out through the bullpen, and then they're going to go all the way back across. Now, it's important to note this is a tuition-free venue, so technically they're not trespassing, but the school asks fans of all species to stay off the field. One more break, and then we're back.
And after the rude greeting, the deer will depart.
Well, fog is an issue in some areas, not too thick, but visibility down to 1.5 miles in the Dells. Temperatures right now mainly in the mid-40s, and look for highs back in the upper 60s by the weekend with some rain chances next week.
And thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. Have a great night.